Balls to War, a sport report from 1170 AD to the present.
Football is a whole skill to itself, a whole universe itself. I love it because you have to be skillful to play it. Freedom. Football is freedom.
When Thomas à Becket's clerk, William Fitzstephen, was suddenly forced to witness, against his will, the murder of Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury, he fled to London, where he chanced upon a game. Not having seen it before, the clerk stopped to watch, and immediately found his attention was gripped, much more so than by the killing his king had just ordered, and which had driven Fitzstephen to run for his life. Despite the game's participants sometimes skidding, and, he noted, their falling onto their daggers, he saw that the game was safer than power politics, especially when footballers played it unarmed. Most did, he reported, before they stepped into the fray, and, writing in 1170, Fitzstephen declared that he preferred to see men fighting for balls and for goals than to see them fighting each other to death. After dinner, he wrote, all the youths of the city go out into the field for the very popular game of ball. He describes the trades having their own teams, and adds, the elders, the fathers, and the men of wealth come on horseback to view the contests of their juniors, and in their fashion sport with the young men. And there is aroused in these elders a stirring of natural heat by their viewing the joys of unrestrained youth. But there was more to the phenomenon than kicking balls, for it had often proved more exhilarating than work, and when it jeopardized the conduct of England's war games, then it provoked stern condemnation by authority. In 1314, Edward II tried to ban it, on the grounds that certain tumults arising from great footballs in the fields, from which many evils may arise to the public. King Edward's aspersions had an ulterior motive. At the time, he was trying to raise an army to fight the Scots, and was worried about the impact football was having on his archers, whom he felt should be practicing their skills for state-sponsored killings, and not for life-giving fun. James I decreed that "na man play at the football," as its baying and shouting disturbed him. The Puritans outlawed it as a devilish pastime, and even Shakespeare described it as base.
Dog, you slave, you... Don't be struck, my lord! No trip neither, you base football player! Yeah!
Football is nothing but beastly fury and extreme violence, wrote Thomas Elyot in 1531. Yet it was war by safer means, this decried peasant sport, all of whose rulers preferred games on horseback, and all of whom were suspicious of disparate groups coming together in a harmonious spirit in case they should use football as a pretext to rebel or to riot, which sometimes they certainly did. In 18th century London, a posh West End street might serve as a goal-mouth to an invading crowd. They'd boisterously breach its defences to help themselves, scoring armfuls of goods previously beyond reach. Here we go, here we go, here we go, give us the ball, give us it. But football's subversive nature was unappreciated, and its communal spirit disparaged. That is, until the cunning kings of commercialism saw how footballers could be farmed, and their skills commodified, and football used to flog fetish objects and cult costumes. Yet no one can ever buy the exhilaration of sprinting, pursuing a ball the shape of the world and kicking it, knowing instinctively where it'll land, and chipping it over the goalie into the net.
think if a man needs who's playing in front of the public is being well paid, and he doesn't dedicate himself to the job, I would be hard on him. If I could, I'd put him in jail, out the road, society, because he's a menace.
Some people think football is a matter of life and death. I assure you, said Liverpool's manager Bill Shankly, it's much more serious than that. And his remark has gone down in history.
Though by contrast, you can still see an angry graffiti somewhere near Fulham's Craven Cottage. Is football, it asks, all you morons can think about? It wasn't written by a Fulham supporter.